What if a disappearance wasn't just, a local crime? What if it was this tangled web involving some of the world's most secretive institutions? We're talking about a real-life mystery. It spanned over 4 decades now, echoing through corridors of power, even the underworld.
Yeah, it's a heavy one.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into one of the most chilling and, frankly, enduring mysteries out there. The case of Emanuela Orlandi.
That's right.
We're pulling insights from a detailed article, The Never-Ending Case of Emanuela Orlandi, from the Matthew, that's a JCU student newspaper. And we'll also fold in other crucial updates, other investigations mentioned in there too.
And our mission, well, it's pretty clear for this deep dive. We want to try and distill the key facts, explore the multitude of theories that have popped up.
So many.
Oh, yeah. And highlight the very latest developments. Because this is a story that just refuses to be forgotten.
Right.
It's about more than just a missing person. It really gets into power, secrecy, the relentless quest for truth. We'll try to understand why this case just remains so stubbornly unresolved.
Okay, let's dive into the timeline then. Set the scene for us. It starts in Rome, June 22nd, 1983.
Right. Emanuela Orlandi, she's 15 years old, a Vatican citizen. Her father, Ercole Orlandi, he worked as a clerk for the pontifical household.
So she actually lived inside the Vatican walls.
Exactly. Which, as her brother Pietro famously said, felt like the safest place in the world.
Wow. Okay, so what do we know about her last known moments? Her day leading up to the disappearance?
Well, on that specific day, June 22nd, Emanuela had her usual flute lesson. It was at the music school in Piazza di Santa Pollinara.
Okay.
Afterwards, she called her sister, mentioned a man had stopped her, offered her a job distributing flyers, something about a fashion runway show.
A job offer, out of the blue.
Yeah, just like that. And she apparently shared this with 2 friends while they were all waiting at the bus stop together.
And then?
Well, here's the haunting part. Emanuela never got on that bus. She was never seen again, never heard from again.
Just vanished. So what happened right after, in the immediate aftermath? How did Rome react?
Well, the city reacted with, a kind of desperate urgency at first. Rome's walls, they were quickly covered in posters of Emanuela, just everywhere, a huge public effort to find her. Yet, despite that initial urgency, days turned into weeks, then months, then years, and still not a trace.
Nothing.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because what seemed like maybe a typical missing persons case very quickly became anything but. It was clear pretty early on this wasn't simple.
It's definitely clear this isn't just another missing person case. What, in your view, truly sets it apart? Why has it remained this, enduring mystery for Italy and really the world for over 4 decades?
Well, you're right. It's often called one of the most complex, dark, and mysterious crime cases Italy has dealt with for 41 years now. What makes it so unique, I think, is how fast it morphed. It went from a local investigation to this huge international affair.
Right.
It ended up drawing in not just the holy, major church figures, but also powerful criminal organizations like the Mafia and even incredibly international terrorists.
Terrorists, wow.
Yeah. And the sheer number of times the investigation has been closed and then reopened, that really tells you something about the powerful, maybe hidden forces at play here.
And through all of this, Emanuela's family, especially her brother, Pietro Orlandi, they've just been fighting relentlessly.
Unbelievably so.
For 4 decades, facing what they see as huge obstacles from Italian institutions. The Vatican, the government, the magistrature, their judicial system.
Right.
They allege these powerful bodies haven't given the case the priority it deserves. Maybe you're even hiding crucial information, constantly dashing the family's hopes. It must be just incredibly frustrating.
Absolutely. Their perseverance, honestly, it's remarkable given everything they've faced.
It's hard to even imagine the number of theories that must have sprung up around a case this old, this complex. Especially, you mentioned those early anonymous calls to the family.
Oh, yeah.
What was the first major theory that really grabbed public attention?
Okay, so one of the most prominent early ones involved an anonymous caller. He became known only as the Americano.
The Americano.
Yes. And this informant claimed to Emanuela's family that she'd been kidnapped, essentially exchanged for Mehmet Ali Auca.
Auca, the man who tried to assassinate Pope John Paul II in '81.
Exactly. the Turkish extremist. The Americano even went further, accusing the CIA of holding documents on the case, demanding they reveal them.
That's quite a claim. CIA involved.
It is, and there were further allegations, kind of related, that Cardinal Secretary of State Agostino Cesaroli had been asked to mediate Acca's release in exchange for Emanuela.
So a potential swap for a would-be papal assassin. That's definitely sensational. But surely that wasn't the only theory floating around.
Oh, far from it. Then you have the Mafia connection. This came primarily from Sabrina Minardi. She was the romantic partner of a known Mafia boss, Enrico De Patis.
De Patis. From the Banda della Magliana, right? The Roman gang.
That's the one. Minardi came forward and claimed Emanuela was used as leverage, possibly as an exchange, or maybe collateral, related to a large sum of money between the IOR.
The Vatican Bank.
Yeah, often called the Vatican Bank, the Institute for the Works of Religion, and the Banda della Magliana.
Okay, so leverage in a financial dispute involving the Vatican Bank and the mob.
According to Minardi, yes. She claimed the negotiation, whatever it was, failed, and that Emanuela was then killed after being held prisoner.
Wow. That's a huge accusation.
Yeah.
Was there any proof?
Well, that's the crucial part. Investigations into Minardi's claims, they didn't turn up any solid evidence. So a dramatic story, but ultimately uncorroborated officially.
Right. A dead end, essentially. And then things get even darker, don't they? There were allegations involving a wider network.
Precisely. And this is where you see how these different threads start to intertwine, suggesting something deeper, more systemic maybe.
How so?
Well, another line of thinking connects Emanuela's case to Mirella Grigori. She was another teenager who disappeared just 4 weeks before Emanuela.
Right, I remember reading about that connection.
And this wasn't just those two. The context included looking at, believe it or not, 321 other teenagers' cases alongside theirs.
321, good grief.
Yeah, and investigators, judges specifically, were able to draw a potential link between Emanuela's and Mirella's disappearances based on leads pointing to a presumed pedophile network.
Within the Catholic Church.
That was the allegation identified back in 2002. Yes, that minors were allegedly being recruited for sexual exploitation within that structure.
So you have this mix of theories. Political intrigue with Agata, organized crime with the Banda, and then this horrific network theory.
Exactly. And this entanglement of theories, it's probably not just coincidence, right? It really reveals this deep suspicion that powerful, often hidden institutions might have been involved somehow or were maybe exploiting the situation, constantly muddying the waters for anyone trying to find the truth.
It certainly seems that way. Now, the official investigations themselves, they've been, as you said, a really frustrating journey. Lots of stops and starts.
Yeah, marked by closures and reopenings. It's been a real roller coaster for the family.
Can you walk us through some of those key moments, the legal ups and downs?
Sure. So a big blow came in 2016 when the Court of Cassation, Italy's highest court, dismissed the case.
Dismissed it entirely.
Appeared that way at the time, yeah. But then there was renewed hope in 2019. A proposal to open a parliamentary inquiry commission was actually accepted.
Okay, so a potential new avenue.
Right. And around that time in 2018, there was a lot of buzz because new DNA analyses were done on human bones found in the Nunciatura Vaticana, the Vatican embassy.
Ah, I remember that. Did that lead anywhere?
Sadly, no. They found no DNA match to Emanuela. Another dead end.
Yeah, another dead end. It must have been just crushing for the family every single time. How does it keep going through these cycles of hope and then disappointment?
It's incredibly difficult to imagine, but they just persevere. And critically, I think media attention has played a huge role in keeping the pressure on.
Like the Netflix series.
Exactly. The 2022 Netflix series Vatican Girl. It revisited the whole story, used original recordings, unedited testimonies. It really put the case back firmly in the public eye, pushed for renewed action.
And did that push lead anywhere concrete?
It seemes like it contributed. Because then we get to a really significant development in 2023. The Italian Senate definitively approved reopening the Commission of Inquiry.
Reopening it, okay.
Yes, for both Emanuela's and Mirella Grigori's cases. This was about 8 months after the lower house, the Chamber of Deputies, had already approved it.
So a bicameral commission, finally moving forward.
Right. And this is when Pietro Orlandi, Emanuela's brother, said he started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Finally.
Understandable. Though you mentioned some skepticism.
Yeah, there was some senatorial skepticism expressed, questioning whether any new information would actually surface after all this time. But for the family, it was a major step.
Absolutely. And Pietro Orlandi, he really has been this unwavering force, hasn't he? Keeping the case alive against all odds.
Oh, absolutely. His dedication is just astounding.
What are some of the most recent, maybe most striking moments in his pursuit? Things he's brought forward?
Well, one really striking encounter happened on March 18th, 2023. Pope Francis met Pietro and his mother, and the Pope apparently told them, quote, "Emanuela is in heaven."
Emanuela is in heaven. What did Pietro make of that?
He was, as you can imagine, profoundly shaken. He took it to mean the Pope knew something definitive about what happened.
Did he follow up? Ask for more?
He did. He repeatedly requested a private meeting with the Pope to discuss it further, but those requests were never granted.
Never granted. Wow. So that comment just hangs there. Adds this whole other layer of ambiguity and pain for the family, I'd imagine.
Definitely. Coming from the highest authority in the Vatican, it's deeply unsettling for them.
And that wasn't the only recent development Pietro pushed forward, was it? There was something about audio recordings.
That's right. More recently, Pietro resurfaced some audio recordings. He gave them to the Italian newspaper Il Fatto Quotidiano. They've been dubbed the torture tapes.
Torture tapes? That sounds horrific.
It is. These tapes were apparently given to Emanuela's family just a month after she disappeared, way back in '83. And both her father, until he died, and Pietro himself, they always believed it was Emanuela's voice screaming on those tapes.
Oh my God. That's agonizing for a family to possess, let alone believe it's their loved one.
Truly agonizing. Another heavy burden they've carried.
And then even more recently, Pietro made a very specific and pretty dramatic public accusation about where Emanuela might have been for years.
Yes, just this year, actually. Another fundamental clue or perhaps allegation emerged. Pietro went on Italian TV on the show Verissimo and claimed Emanuela was locked up in a London convent.
In London. For how long?
Until 1993, according to his claim.
That's a decade after she disappeared. Did he offer any specifics?
He did. He went as far as naming an alleged jailer, a man named Vittorio Baioni, who he identified as an ex-member of the NAR, the Armed Revolutionary Nuclei, a neo-fascist group.
Naming names on national TV, that's bold.
Very, and Pietro stated publicly, almost challenging the authorities, no one looks for him, implying this person isn't being pursued.
So this new lead, with a name, a location, a time frame, it really highlights Pietro's absolute conviction that answers are still out there, if only someone would seriously look.
Exactly. It underlines his unwavering belief, despite everything.
Okay, so where does this leave us? After 41 years, we have this cascade of theories, right? International plots, mafia connections, Vatican scandals, these awful network allegations.
A tangled web is putting it mildly.
Yeah. And a paper trail of investigations that just seem to hit brick walls or get closed down, then reopened.
Right. Cycles of hope and frustration.
And through it all, the Orlandi family's unyielding demand for truth, for closure. What does it all mean?
Well, if you connect it to the bigger picture, this case, it really forces you to ask important questions, doesn't it? About transparency, accountability, justice. Especially when powerful institutions are implicated, or even perceived to be implicated.
Definitely.
It shines a harsh light on the immense challenges families face when they're seeking closure against that kind of formidable opposition. How incredibly hard it can be for information to surface when it seems guarded by layers of institutional secrecy.
So the final thought for you, the listener, maybe is this. What does the persistent, aching mystery of Emanuela Orlandi's disappearance truly reveal about the forces at play in our world? A world where it seems powerful secrets can be kept hidden, sometimes for decades, despite this relentless pursuit.
And maybe more importantly, what does it actually take? What catalyst is needed for the truth, no matter how inconvenient or damaging it might be, to finally come to light?